just look at it? Would you just look at this thing? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Derelict series where that guy builds patinaed, he doesn't build crappy cars, but they look old and disheveled, but they have rock star parts everywhere. Engine, suspension, brakes, interior, everything. And everything is like custom and beautiful. And it's what I think, with the budget to back it up is one of the best things you can build because it's not only like fun, it's functional, and it has like cool mix of everything. I don't really know what else to say. If you don't think this thing is cool, I think there's something wrong with you. You should not be watching this channel. This is like the entirety of all of the hot rodding experience right here. This thing is so cool. Anyway, let's get into some details. I don't even know what to say about this thing. What doesn't this thing do awesome? So, Shane had emailed me about tuning a car, and I had no idea it was this awesome when I flashed an ECU for him and sent him a bass tune. He's like, yeah, runs good. Let me bring it over and we'll dyno it. So anyway, this is a 65 AMC Rambler, I think he said. It has a Pistons Rods 5.3 in it. It has twin, I think they're 66, 68 turbos. Air-to-air intercooler. It has 80-pound injectors. It has a T56 in it. I am not sure what rear end is actually in this car. I'd have to take a closer look at I don't think my pictures are good enough. But anyway, it has rear in it. I think 350-something gears. Yeah, right around 342, 350 gears. And it has an air ride suspension, the Accu Air. I'm not exactly sure. The control panel for it is in the dash on the interior photo. So it'll auto level the car out with weight. You can set ride heights. It has customizable, or you can just just set the height, whatever you want to. Totally opposite of the presets and everything else going on. Man, what else is done to this thing? Everything. It's just awesome. There's a stock ECU in it. I was pretty surprised by that, but why not, right? So, cruise it around. Anyway, we did a couple hits. He had very low boost springs in it, and it made about 4 pounds. Made like 430, 427 on 4 PSI. And he had a bleed valve boost controller. Oh, here's an awesome picture of the interior. I was like, damn, did you do the whole interior? He said most of it's from a Mercedes. It just looks good. He swapped it in there, even has a smoothed out trans tunnel and everything. It's just incredible. I'm at a loss for words for this thing if you don't know that by now. It's like the coolest thing I've seen this year, for sure. Anyway, we made 430 very easily on under 5 pounds of boost. So it was like 4.8 peak. And he had a bleed valve boost controller, but since his wastegates were so low, we had a little bit of issues with that. So what we ended up doing was I just disconnected them completely and let it fly, and it made 16 pounds. So I was quick on the throttle to make sure it wasn't going to run away, but like I explained to him, classically with a wastegate spring that low, you won't get a runaway situation. Back pressure will open them, and luckily, it was right around where we wanted. I wanted to be right around 14, 15 pounds because it's a straight pump gas car, and he just wants it to be reliable. So I told him, for now, I would love to make that 14, 15, 16 pounds. And it did. It hits about 15 average through the pull on the high boost pulls, and it made 680 rear wheel horsepower and 658 foot-pounds of torque on straight 93 octane on 15 pounds of boost. And like I said to him, he could rig up you can see the Accu Air, Accu Ride, whatever it is, controller there on the left. It even has Willwood pedals. This thing is baller, guys. I don't know if you can't tell. The old school Stuart Warner gauges in the dash, they look almost period correct. So he's definitely been doing his homework. This thing's incredible. Awesome. Again, I'll say that 6 more times, so just be ready for it. So 80 pounders straight pump gas. Those were the numbers we settled on. He's just going to have to live with nearly 700 rear wheel for now, see how he likes it. He might add methanol. We were talking about that at the end of the tune. Add like a methanol kit, and I told him, if everything looks good and his inlet temps and stuff were incredible with his intercooler and turbo setup, I was like, I wouldn't hesitate to put like 22 pounds through this thing on pump and meth. I bet it makes a good bit of horsepower when we throw a bunch more boost at it. So Anyway, I hope we see him again. This car is beautiful and amazing all the way around. If you can't tell, check it out. Hope I put up enough pictures. I did a nice walk around video also there in the beginning. The patina and everything is incredible, and the craftsmanship, I mean, Shane really, dude, if this guy doesn't build cars professionally for a living, I don't know what the hell he's up to. This thing is incredible. So anyway, enjoy, and maybe we'll go over some data logs real quick. Okay, here we go. Let's go through some logs and some polls and talk about what we saw and did. So this was my first roll-in here. Made about 410, and we cleaned it up. Yeah, this was just a roll-in to check timing. First hit, 5,400. I believe this was it, 421. Yeah, it's close. 415, 4. See, I changed all my correction factors to some BS making fun of people ones. Now I don't know what they are. I think this is what I normally use, standard. So yeah, 421, 427. See, the numbers are slightly off because I don't have a weather station connected to this computer. The Dyno itself, the stack, has a weather station built in. Anyway, enough with that stuff. So this was the first full roll in. Where are we at? As we can see, only about 132 kPa. So let's bring up the doohickey for you. 132. Oh, that's too much. 4.6 psi. So 4.6 pounds made 421 wheel horsepower. So I think we got the boost controller to add a little bit more boost on those, and then we quickly ran out of wastegate. We could not get any more, as you can see with these consecutive 470 pulls, 450, 460, 440. We could not get the boost out of it. Here is where I disconnected the boost controller entirely just to let it fly, and it was going a little bit too high. One other thing we found out was his blow-off valve had 2 ports on it, and I noticed he had the bottom connected, and we moved it, and the blow-off valve was actually connected incorrectly and was leaking some boost. So after we fixed that, we were able to get a little bit more boost also. Partway through here, I got my tack signal to start reading on it. Obviously, this is like a spike. This is a junk spike. There we go. So pull 10 here, 541 horsepower, 553 foot-pounds. No torque on those. Number 3, I got it working. About number 3. This one was a little sketchy on fuel. We started adding some power and cleaning her up. 470. Yeah, a couple little breakups. That's when I lifted early. Where is 578? 640. Yeah, a little bit of tack interruption here. That one's a clean one. Yeah, so 680, 680, 642 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty cool to see the RPM overlay on this with the 6-shift car. People are always talking about, you know, the laggy and whatever, but honestly, it's really hard to control a power band that's all 700 horsepower if you have a ridiculous blower car or whatever. So the power comes in nice and smooth. As you can see, it makes really good torque up top. Turbos, FTW. But yeah, this is a straight pump gas, and then this hit. As we can see here, roll in. Where do I go wide open? Way back here. We're about there. 2,700. It's starting to go a little bit positive. It really starts motoring about that 4,000 range. Boost just comes flying up. And then here, you know, about 15 pounds. Wound her out a little bit into the 6,300 range. It was a little bit fat, and this combination really liked spark. And I just didn't want to push the hell out of it because it's a bigger car and it's straight pump gas, and you know, we didn't want to set the world on fire. Figured about 660, 680 was plenty for the day to see how he liked it. It would be neat to lean on it some more with pump and meth, make me feel a little bit more comfortable. But this combo did like some ignition in it. It really picked up big time. 1 degree was easily putting down like 24 rear wheel at times. I was just like, you know, I don't want to push this thing. It's making really good power on medium settings. So we'll leave it go. We're about 63% into the 80-pound injectors. Nice fat air fuel. So it even has like a high 10 on this pull, but everything else is looking really good. I hope he has a ton of fun with this car and maybe even brings it back and we lean on it some more and see how it does. But I don't think he has ethanol really in his area. So that's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Really awesome car. Don't really know what to say about it. Kind of at a loss.